you're in a unique position having played for Pop for so long. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama, #1 overall pick this year. If you could give Wemby some advice about dealing with Pop, and obviously it's going to be a different thing because he's a #1 overall pick.
He's a different Pop now too, but it's a blessing for him. I think it's the perfect spot for him to become a professional. He's got Tony there to help him. Obviously, Boris played. He got a lot of French guys that have been through the organization to help him and to help guide him, and just to learn how to be a professional and not take it for granted. They're gonna, monitor his body the right way. They're not gonna overwork him. So I guess my word of advice is just enjoy it, embrace it and embrace the great. You got, Tim Duncan in your backyard, David Robinson, all those, great big men, Hall of Famers there, and a city that's gonna love you. They have some of the greatest fans in the league. It's a great city to live in. It's cheap living, no state tax, So I enjoyed my time in San Antonio very much, and it's a place I call home, and I think he'll enjoy it too. So just enjoy the ride, fella, you know what I'm saying? And do what you do, see where you can take them.
That's like that. That's like when your father becomes a grandfather. And you're like, what? Why you change? Right? Everyone's looking at Pop like, what? You're not gonna be yelling at him? Yeah. This is a new Pop.
It's a different dad.
This is a different one.
If you have parents that have younger siblings, you're parenting him differently than how you parented me. What the hell's going on here? Who are you?
Go get the switch. Yeah. You gotta get the switch.
You just heard him.
But Pop is still gonna be Pop. He's just a different Pop, but I think he knows how to get the best out of guys, and it's a perfect situation for him.
So last two #1 overall picks for the Spurs, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, both raised banners. Wemby's following in their footsteps. Do you think he's going to be able to raise a banner as well for that Spurs team? It's looking a little shaky right now with that squad.
For sure. It's going to take a couple of years. It's hard to predict anything with most players, even superstars. You never know what kind of turn, what kind of health issues. He has the potential. A lot of guys have the potential. But I think that he's in this position where they're going to surround him with the right pieces to give him an opportunity, a chance to do that. And I do think, they say every organization has their downfall. Like, they had a quick turnaround. They weren't at the bottom for too long. I think they got 2 or 3 more years where they're going to figure it out and be back where they, have been the last 20 years.
You said when they cut you the first time and then they brung you back, Spurs look like a group that they look for certain type of players.
People.
Right? People
first, then yes.
Players?
Yes.
So how many more years before they have the right, people in place for them?
I say 3.
3.
Yeah, they're always going to find the right people. They always find the right people.
They always find the right.
And now find those people to be players. Find the right players as those people, because they're not dealing with Pop's not dealing with egos. As long as Pop is around and RC's around, they're going to have great character guys. And if you're not going to last there long. But to find the players, there's a lot of talent out there. They're going to find. They always find hidden gems overseas somewhere, and then they always find good talent. But I think in the next 3 years or so, I think he'll have the support he needs to be in the playoffs and then to make a run.
Okay.
And so at that point, a lot of the teams that are the better teams are getting older. The Milwaukee's, the Golden States, the Lakers. The Lakers have some good foundation, but then it's like, New Orleans coming up, Zion, Memphis coming up. I think San Antonio could be one of those teams that's on the come up with those younger teams. That's going to be a contender. Boston still has some years left with the younger guys. So yeah.
So OKC.
OKC, they're coming up with Shy.
So let's talk a little bit about the fun guy, Kawhi. You played with Kawhi with Spurs when he won his first Finals MVP. It was kind of unexpected at that point, but you were also part of that trade to Toronto. Y'all won a championship together over there. So how do you compare Spurs Kawhi to Toronto Kawhi?
I wouldn't say there's a big difference. I know he's probably a different person now than he was then. He was starting to become a leader. We were the younger guys in San Antonio. And when we got to Toronto, we became older, but we became veterans. I think I was at 10 years, and I think he was like 7 or 8, and all the other guys were younger, but we also had experience. So he was starting to come into his own as a leader. He was more of an on-the-court leader in San Antonio. Now he's more vocal and on the court in Toronto. So it wasn't a big difference, but I think as he won in Toronto and got to LA, I think he started to become a lot more vocal. Also because he had to be. He was on the sideline some. He had to, I wouldn't say coach and teach, but he had to be in the huddles more, with some of the injuries he had. But coming from San Antonio, being in Toronto, you could see him coming out of his shell more.
When y'all got traded there, did y'all think like championship?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I was kind of blindsided. I had no idea that I was going to be a part of the package. We knew he wanted to get traded. But when it said Toronto, obviously, you know, Toronto's a city. It's just a really good city. So it's like,
I don't know, but I don't tell a story.
You know, it's not a bad place to be. Then I looked at the standings where they were the year prior, and I'm like, yeah, this is a really good team. You know, we have a chance. The East is kind of wide open. Kawhi's a special player. I'm like, you know, he can definitely bring us to certain. I can help. Me and him defensively, just on that basis alone, can give us a chance defensively. If we, you know, make some shots, or we find anybody get hot, whether it's Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet, you know, and Pascal is coming out party. You know, this is before he even becomes Pascal Siakam. You know, Kalo's all-star. When I looked at it, I'm like, yo, we have some really. And then we made the trade for Marc Gasol. We had Serge Ibaka. Defensively, we had all the pieces we needed to figure it out. And it said you got that three-headed monster, maybe even four-headed monster in Golden State. We had KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond. They had a lot of talent over there. You just said you hope when you get there, you know, you figure it out. You hope for the best. You never know what's going to happen. And that's kind of what Tony told me in my first finals. He's like, you know, you play in Miami. Everybody's the underdog against Golden State or the Miamis when they have KD. When they had KD, it's like you never know what's going to happen. Who's going to be healthy? Who's not going to be healthy? Or who gets hot or not? As long as you get there, and then, you know, anything can happen. He was like, and then sure enough, 2013 finals, we got there. Anything can happen. You know, I got hot. We were up 3-2. We didn't win, but it was like we weren't predicted to go 7 games with them. And the year after that, we weren't predicted to beat them 4-1. You just got to get there. And us in Toronto, we weren't predicted to beat Golden State, but injuries happen. You get there, you give yourself a chance, and, you know, Clay gets hurt, KD gets hurt. And, you know, they balled out. Kyle Lowry balled out, Kawhi balled out, Pascal. We had, you know, everything with the basketball guys was in our favor that year.
So 17 was a sweep, I think 18. But, and you know, you talk about injuries, but going into that finals, you looking at this squad, and then, you know, they suffer some injuries. You guys kind of have a lane now to be able to win that finals. So you said, well, I mean, how surprising was that for you? Did you feel like you got any redemption for those 2 previous years
when we
back with the Spurs?
When we played with Toronto, when we played them with Toronto? For sure. I mean, that year we were having a good year too. That 2017 year, we just got LaMarcus. Kawhi was balling. I feel like we were clicking on all cylinders before the ankle injury happened, and it was just like, damn, you know, it took the air out of us. You know, we were up 20, second half. You know, they come back, and couldn't recover from that. He had to sit out the next game or so, next 2 games. But we never really got an opportunity with that group. I still, even though we got a chance to beat them with Toronto, I still felt like with that group, if we had another opportunity to play them, you know,
the 2017 squad.
Yeah, with LaMarcus, Kawhi. I think we had, I don't know if we had D West or not. He might have been in Golden State at that point. But we had a good enough team, and I was like, you know what? You know, this is a great team. Golden State was a great team, but I feel like a healthy us playing them 7-game series, I would have loved to had that rematch again or seen that happen.
So we're talking about Toronto. You got to talk about Drake. You know, very animated on sidelines.
Yeah.
For you, what was your experience like? You know, dealing with Drake, and what's your favorite memories from Drake?
He was animated. I mean, most of the year he wasn't around until like toward the end of the year, then playoffs for sure. You're not a big fan of that. Like coming from San Antonio, you're not a big fan of like the extracurricular, you know, BS that happens. But when it's him, it's not bad. And when he's actually working, because I think some of the antics that he was doing that was messing with Giannis at the free throw line, I think it kind of helped us a little bit. So it was fun and funny to see, you know, him going back and forth with KD and Steph in the Golden State series, and then, you know, messing with, you know, the Milwaukee team, and, you know, that's the owner's daughter wearing T-shirts, a bunch of random stuff going on. So it was kind of funny. And to see him support us that way, it was great. You know, he'd be in the locker room with us. So it was dope. We got a chance to actually I got a chance to, you know, know him on a different type of level and be a part of something and share something with him, you know, win a championship that most people don't ever, you know, get a chance to experience at all ever in life. But not only just win a championship, but win a championship with, you know, an all-time celebrity star in his field.
Man, that's crazy.
That's legendary.
He had his own ring. I think he designed. He
designed his own.
Yeah. So he got one of our rings, and he got his own ring. So I think he has 2. I seen him randomly at Delilah with them shits on. I'm like, what the f is that?
Like, where's that?
He had like 2.
It's a championship ring.
And I'm like, nah, we don't got that one. He had. I think he has 2.
So after that season, you hit free agency again. And you talk about early on in your career kind of fighting to get a spot, being waived and all that stuff, the tough times. But for the first time really in your career now, you got teams that are actively pursuing. You're a hot name in that free agency. At
different times I have been, but now I feel like I'm going through the same cycle as when I was younger.
Yeah.
Figuring like everybody's waiting on trades. You're the old guy now coming off injury. You got to kind of showcase yourself. You got to go out and work out for teams. You got to do this. So I've been on all, I guess, all aspects of free agency, all spectrum. I've seen every, angle of it. Being pursued, being waiting game, waiting for somebody else to sign. It's an interesting, thing because I feel like in life you feel like you've been through this before. And it's new every time. You know what I'm saying? It's never something you get comfortable with, or something that you're like. You're still gonna have your anxiety, you're still gonna have your stress about it, you're still gonna worry, you're still gonna be like, I wanna get this, I wanna do that. It's just human nature, there's always new things coming at you, regardless if you've been through it before or not. And this time around, it's different for me. It's a little different. So,
did it feel good to see, but back in 2019, to see just teams thirsty for you, like?
It was good to be pursued.
To be
for
pursued,
sure.
I imagine.
I hadn't been pursued like that until that time. So I've been pursued a little bit. So after 2013, I wasn't free agent. So 2014, I think, or 2015, I was a free agent. I signed back with San Antonio. And we got the deal done before it happened really fast. I didn't even chance because I was like, I'll get paid here and I get a chance to win again here. So why would I not go back? And there's another memory of Pop that I was like, it wasn't a favorite memory, but it was a memory that I held to me. And he was like, I promise I'll be better. I'll be nice this time.
That's what he told you?
And it never happened. It never happened, but I was like, all right, cool. I'll sign back. Hopefully they'll coach me a little differently this time. It didn't happen, but I was pursued by some teams then, not heavily, but pretty good pursuit. But after 2019, heavily pursued, and actually ended up being the deal that I want, like the place that I wanted to be, the deal that I wanted, everything that I hoped and wished for. And, it was a great time for me to be able to, even though we had to wait for Kawhi to make his decision. So you had to wait a week. Yeah. It seemed like 3 months, a week for free agency. We're like, all right, if Kawhi don't sign here, we'll take you. So it's like, all right, we gotta wait for Kawhi to sign, and then maybe I can sign to LA, maybe the Clippers, or maybe Dallas. I don't know where I'm going yet. Everybody's waiting for Kawhi to sign. And when it happened, I was like, it all fell into place. I was excited. Got a chance to play with Bron again and AD, and we had a good group. We brought in Dwight, we had Rondo, we had a plethora of guys that we all respect. We all respect each other, all guys that I've looked up to and watched play, and vice versa. So it was a good time, man. I enjoyed my time in LA.
Were you talking to Kawhi at all while that was going on? Like, yo, dog, hurry up. My money too, bro. Pick a team.
A little here and there, but I know him. So, it's like, what we thinking? What we doing? First it's like, are we going back to Toronto? Like, what are we doing? But if Toronto was to sign him, they wouldn't be able to sign me back either. Okay. So I don't know if that swayed his decision or not, but they were only going to the tax for him. They were like, we're only going to tax for this guy. I mean, we love you, Danny, even if he doesn't come back, but we're over the tax already with all these guys. So I was like, all right, cool, no big deal. I still have love for no love lost. Even if he didn't come back, I was like, it was a good team, but I don't think we had a chance to win. Yeah. So I was like, let me find another place where I think we can win. I was like, Bron and AD. You have those two guys, no matter who else is around you, you have a chance to win. So I was like, you kind of try to manifest getting over to this squad, and it happened.
One of my all-time favorite games, NBA 2K, is going mobile. Now, I remember back in our day, we didn't have the mobile technology to be able to play NBA 2K on the phone, so we had to play on the console. And I used to get that work from a lot of my teammates. Didn't practice as much as I should have, but now that I'm older, I'm looking for redemption, and I'm going to catch all their fades again and redeem myself. Do you have any favorite 2K moments from currently or back in the day?
Yes, once we went live. Once online came on and we were allowed to talk trash, I was unstoppable.
Really?
Yeah.
You never
I had to
played
play with myself.
Okay.
No. I wanted to win.
You've never played with yourself?
No. I wanted to win.
A lot of people play with themselves.
I know, because they losers.
Okay. They lose.
Online, you have the best player online.
Now you can get ready to create your own epic plays with NBA 2K Mobile, the must-play mobile game for basketball lovers who want to conquer the court online. Download NBA 2K Mobile free and start customizing your My Player and Dream Team today. Gil, I gotta ask, which all-time Dream Team are you creating, and are you at the 1?
No, LeBron's at the 1, Rip Hamilton at the 2,
Wow.
KD's at the 3, Dirk's at the 4, Yao Ming's at the 5.
And this is just for video game purposes.
Yes, sir.
Killers, all killers. Are you at least on that squad?
Huh? No.
I'm saying you're not even making the 12-man roster?
No, I can't make that roster. First of all,
Two-way contract?
I don't sub anyway. My players gotta die before I sub them out.
They keep them in the game.
I know how to call my timeouts.
It's the mobile game for real basketball fans. There's always something new to explore, so go ahead and download NBA 2K Mobile free on the App Store or Google Play and use promo code Tatum2K Mobile to redeem an exclusive Jason Tatum Pearl Tier card. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds baller. It's Pearl Tier. It must be nice. That's TATUM2KMOBILE. Peace.
Peace. What team you iron now that can win?
There's a lot of teams that I thought that I could fit on and that could win. But it all is based on the chemistry. I thought Phoenix was a good team they signed a lot of younger guys, 3-and-D guys. I feel like they have a lot of star power, but they're all mid-range scoring shooters. I feel like they need defense and some perimeter. So I thought Phoenix was one. I thought Milwaukee was one. If the trade with Dame happens in Miami, I thought Miami is one. I think Philly can use some depth on the wing position. They have a lot of bigs, especially with the fact that we don't know what James is going to do. If the trade with James happens, Clippers might have to give us some people. I thought Clippers could be an option. So there's a couple of spots that could make sense. For me, it's not about the money. It's about just having opportunity, again, to just hoop. I only have a couple of years left. I know I can still hoop, but opportunity to showcase that I can still do it, at this level, at this age. And I want to go with teams that are not trying to groom their young guys, because those teams I'm just going to be on a bench role and just like trying to help groom them. I want to be on a team that's like in playoff contention, but also needs vets to play. I'm not saying I need to play 30, 35 minutes. 20 minutes is cool, 20, 25, and play some defense and then knock down shots for you. Those are the teams that I'm kind of looking to be a part of.
I'm just laughing because I would never have ever said that. Yeah, bring me in and play some defense. I'm trying to get buckets.
Yeah,
I know, but just.
I know what my role is, man. You know what I'm saying? To try to bring to the table the chemistry, to be the glue guy. I'm not going to get a bunch of shots. Of course, I want to make some shots. When you get older, it's like, when my last couple of years, even Philly, I'm going to say it's a jinx, or I don't look at it. I'm not superstitious, but I started getting more of my injuries while I was in Philly. And I was just like, damn, maybe I'm not able to play 30, 32, 35 anymore. It's like, play 20, 25. That's where I need to fit, like where I need to be, where you can still hoop, get a rhythm, but not, because you can give 30 minutes, but not for 82. It's like, I can give you, if we need you need me for 30, I'll give you 30, 35 one time. But for 82, nah, I can't, because the recovery for the next game, we got 4 and 7 nights or 4 and 6 nights. I don't know if I'm gonna make this night 3. I might not be here for you.
Yeah.
So if you want to sustain a good, efficient, production, you got to keep when you're older. You know what I'm saying?
So it brings me to another good question, just load management.
Yeah.
When you talk about that, and that's the thing, we talk about young guys, your ass can't load manage. You got to play. But at what age or what point do you now say, all right, I can give you that 35, but I'm going to need
I started seeing it more when I got to San Antonio with Manu, because he was starting to, that's the reason why I started. It wasn't because I was better than Manu. It was because they were managing Manu's hamstrings. If he played more than like 30 minutes often, it would be a lot on his body, and when I recovered. So it's like, okay, and he's probably around, 34-ish. It's different for different guys, but I think, I wouldn't say guys hit the decline, but I think your body and the miles you put on it, it starts to add up when you get to year like 12, 13 in the league. And that may be different ages for different guys. But I think around the 33, 34, it's like, all right, you need to start micromanaging how you're going to handle your minutes and your production to be fresh for playoffs when we need you. Now, playoffs, there is no limit on it. We need to play you 30, 40, because you have more rest days in between. It ain't, 3 and 5 nights. It's 1, 2 days off and, another one. But to keep guys fresh for that time of the year where it matters the most in April, May, and June.
That makes sense. So let's talk a little bit about your time with the Lakers. You come over 2019. AD also comes over. You talk about that special crew, that unit. Then COVID happens. The world shuts down.
Bubble, man.
But y'all come back to the bubble. And you talk to people all the time. They always try to discredit that bubble championship. I feel like a lot of that has to do with LeBron hate, but Lakers hate. It's kind of this perfect storm of generational things to hate on. But when you look back, what were your experiences like in the bubble? And, you won 3 chips. How does that ring compare to the other 2 in terms of difficulty?
I always tell everybody it was the hardest one. Yes. It was the hardest one. By far.
You hear that, people?
By far.
You hear that, Jordan fans?
Obviously, winning, beating Miami after losing the year was tough, being your first one in San Antonio. But we won 4-1. Playing in Toronto, winning outside of, the Spurs organization, it was not easy. We won 4-2. But just the mental and emotional strain of, no matter how nice the place is, even if you're this is a beautiful place. If you're here for 100 days and you can't leave, it's gonna put a lot of strain on you emotionally and mentally, And we were playing. It wasn't like we had a bunch of days in between because you had to make sure you had games like every other day. So, but it was a lot, man. And I don't say I have PTSD or anything like that, but when you bring up that bubble, I'm not the type that I tell people this all the time. I'm not the type of guy to give any money back. But if they try to bring up the idea of another bubble again, y'all can have that one, man.
Have you been able to go to Disney World? Obviously, you got first son on the way. Will you ever take him to Disney World?
We're gonna wait some time, man.
Or no?
We're gonna wait some time.
It was that bad, like.
It was tough, man, and it was a beautiful setup. I'm not gonna say you could fish, guys can golf, you could walk around, but just being in the same space every day. So we were there. So some teams weren't there for that long. We were there for two months before our families came in. July and August. They came in like September-ish. We were there for another month and a half after. So about almost 100 days. I didn't tell many people this, but like, it started getting weird, man. I started getting vertigo. Like, I didn't even know what the hell that was. I'll be like getting dizzy. I'm like, what the hell is vertigo? And you get a slight case of that. And this was like toward the end of it, of course. But yeah, man, it just mentally and emotionally, it puts a lot on you.
Well, as a hooper, you're used to obviously road trips, time away from your family. That shit is healthy because then you come back and it really strengthens that bond.
Yeah.
So you get 2 months, like literally no family, then family comes and y'all motherfuckers is here every single day.
It's kind of, so I love my teammates. I love my guys. I love my family. I love my wife. And I love the Lakers organization. And I had a chance actually to go back to the Lakers this past year when I got bought out from Houston. And I love RP, Rob Pelinka. But when I got a chance to talk to RP on the phone, all I could think about was the bubble. And I was just like, damn. And it just really kind of pushed me away from I'm like, damn, I don't know if I can do this again. I just remember being there every day with these guys and being with RP every day. And I'm just like, I love those guys, but it's just.
Every day.
I don't know if I want to be around them that much anymore. After leaving there, it's like, I love seeing Bron. I love seeing AD. We experienced something great. I had Dwight with me when I came to Philly, but being back in that space with them again, it's going to bring back so much of that time where it's going to be, I'm just like, and not going to be in a good mental space there.
I mean, was there things that, and you say, Gil, you got a lovely house, but if they locked us in here for 100 days and I got to get my nose swabbed every morning to be able to work with you, I'm being like, I'm not with Gil like that. But for you, did it kind of feel like AAU almost, but like in a sick, twisted, demented type of fashion?
Yeah, even worse.
Tournaments back in the day?
AAU tournaments, you play a couple games, you leave on the road, you go somewhere. It's maybe a week. You maximize that times 10. Even you go on vacations or road trips with your family. Yeah. You take them in doses. I love my family, I love my parents, I love my in-laws, but I only take them for about 3 or 4 days. Yeah. Then I'm good. But if I have to take for even 2 weeks, I'm like, look, man, I might have to choke somebody. You know what I'm saying? You might be ready to about at odds. You're at the point where I'm not ever talking to this person again. Now 100 days is another story.
That's how I am with the pool.
What do you mean?
I really get what you. So because of the knees, I had 3 knee surgeries in 14 months. So I had doing a lot of pool, rehabbing, Every time I look at the pool, all I can think of is the rehab inside that. So I won't even jump.
You want to get in the pool no more?
No, I don't even try. I look at it, keep it clean.
It's been 3 years. Everybody else in the pool. Get in the pool. Nah,
like,
good, man.
Pool is not the same. It's not enjoyable. It was like work.
Yeah.
As soon as I get in the water, it's like exercise. I'm good.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
So won 3 chips. I know everybody always asks you what's your favorite one, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to ask that shit. But you got 3 championship rings. Let's just say, worst case scenario, unfortunate events happen, and you need to pawn one of those rings. Which one of those rings?
Gotta save one. How about that? Save one. You
gotta
save one.
You got to save. I want to know which one's the best. Which one do you think you can make the most bread off if you had to sling it?
I could probably make the most off the Lakers one.
Yeah, you know, somebody.
So that's probably the one you want to keep. San Antonio's a little older, so it's a nice ring. But it's not as nice as the Toronto. The Toronto one is ridiculous.
Okay.
It's the biggest one.
Toronto's the biggest one.
Toronto's the biggest one.
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that. But here's the thing, though. If you sell the Lakers ring, a Lakers fan will buy it and just give it back to you because that's how.
Possibly. You probably get the most money for it. You know, there's a bubble year, it's Kobe year, and you know, Lakers fans. It's a bigger, you know, fan base throughout the nation. Now, obviously, Canadians are special, man. They treat you unbelievably. So it'd be between those two, but I'll probably keep the Toronto one and sell the LA one because I'll get the most for the LA one, and the Toronto one I think I won't say I like the most, but I think I wouldn't say more meaningful, but it's just like
for sure,
you know.
But the LA fans, they'll give it back to you and you can sell that shit again.
Possibly.
And they
Possibly.
Just keep the cycle going.
Is that what Lamar did?
Yeah.
Is that what happened with Lamar?
Yeah, somebody bought his rings. I think even Slava
Canadians would probably do the same, honestly.
Yeah, bought his rings and gave it back to him?
Yeah, Slava was trying to raise money for Ukraine, so I think they bought him and gave him back to him.
Canadians would definitely do the same. Like, I could definitely sell it to Canadian. They'd be like, here, right? So,
Drake, you want a third ring? What you want? You want another one? Yeah. So let's talk a little bit. You come in your rookie year with LeBron. You get to see that version of LeBron. Then you come to Lakers 2019, 2020, and see that version of LeBron. Kind of same question I asked you with Kawhi. How did LeBron change? It wasn't no more of the dancing and all that type of shit.
No, he was still the same guy.
He was still doing all that?
He's still a big-ass kid, man. And it's crazy to see. Like I said, you know, he has grays and stuff. You know, he's older now, but he's still, every chance that he gets, you know, playing around, dunking the ball. I'm like, yo, a year 20 at this point, or it was year 18 for him.
Yeah.
I wasn't old at the time. I'm like, bro, how are you doing this? Like, just messing around, I would be saving my energy if I could, but any chance to get dancing, joking, cracking jokes, dunking the ball, any chance he got, shooting half-court shots, shooting one-legged runners. Obviously, he learned how to lead better going to Miami. When I had him in Cleveland, he was a lot younger. We had Shaq. You know, Shaq was one of the guys I guess was supposed to teach him how to lead, but Shaq was older at that point. And you know, I think they got along, but it just didn't work well. We didn't win. Him going to Miami and learning from that organization, learning how to be a winner, and learning, you know, the right way to play. He always played the right way, but I think the details, I think he learned a lot of details there. Obviously brought with him to other organizations when he came back to Cleveland and went back to LA. You know, the details of, no, let's do this again. Let's run through it again. No, I didn't like how he did that. You know, go over screen. Or, no, I don't like him in that spot. Don't put Danny there. And I'm like, you're right. Don't put me here. I don't feel like in the dunker. And that's not where I'm supposed to be. You know, I want him making that pass. I want him making that pass. So small things and going through it again. And taking that part a little more serious was the only difference.
When it comes to cannabis, you want a product that strikes just the right mood. Mood is an online dispensary that features a variety of products tailored to set your mood. Their variety of product lines like Energize, Euphoric, and Chill help you get in the right mood for whatever your day has in store. This is a THC product you can trust. Mood puts an end to guessing games with federally legal forms of THC extracted from hemp plants. All their products are regularly third-party tested in Drug Enforcement Agency registered labs, sourced from small family farms and grown organically. However you like to take THC, Mood has you covered. Great for both beginner and veteran users. Great taste in gummies, classic flower, convenient pre-rolls, and so much more. So go choose the Mood that's right for you. Order your THC products from Mood today. Go to HelloMood.com and use promo code NOCHILL for 20% off your first order and free gummy. That's HelloMood.com, promo code NOCHILL for 20% off your order and free gummies. Enjoy. So you also had a chance to, like you said, play with the Sixers. You and Dwight went over there. So you've been a part of the process.
Yeah.
So from your vantage point, just looking at this whole James Harden situation, what are your thoughts as somebody who's been a part of that organization, and are you rolling with Harden on this side, or are you rolling with Sixers management?
It's tough, man, being caught in the middle, because I've always loved James's game, being a competitor, competing against him. I only got a chance to play with him for a couple months. I got a chance to play with him. I got a chance to play with him. I enjoyed it. I also enjoy Daryl Morey. I understand Daryl Morey. I'm always going to side with the player because I am a player, but also is that I don't think he's wrong. If he was promised something, I said this the other day, if he's promised something, you should, come through with the promises. Now, with that being said, I do think that Daryl Morey is the guy that has the best interest at heart for James and anybody else in the league. It's just that I think Daryl values his players a lot more than anybody else does. Not just James, but anybody that tries to get a trade with Daryl, even for Tobias, he's going to ask for a lot because he values that guy. So he's not going to trade James for anything. He wants to get value in return. He valued James very highly. And, the Clippers are not going to want to do that because they may not value the same. They might not think, like, we need to give up this many pieces. Mind you, it's because they don't have to. I feel like they have most of the leverage. James is giving them more of the leverage by saying, I don't want to be here anymore. So it's like, you guys need to make a decision or I'm not playing in training camp. But at the end of the day, I think they need to sit down and figure it out, him and Daryl, because I think Daryl has his best interest. I think James needs to come back and play and give Philly an opportunity to play with Joel, because it's only going to be hurting the guys in the locker room and the guys he built, relationship with. And, obviously this new CBA rules and things like that of fines. I think he'll be hurting himself. He'll be hurting the team. And I think he'll give himself a better chance if he plays for free agency next summer. Obviously, you're getting older. And Philly may be the spot to pay you again next year. You don't know. But I think Daryl Morey is the guy that has probably the best interest at heart for him.
You got to buy some of that wine.
Best friends fighting. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go through your phases. You may not be talking for a couple months, but you figure it out. You come back to it. And, Daryl said find a compromise in middle ground to where at least come up with half the promise. I don't know what he promised them, but listen, we can do this, we can do that, or we can figure it out. But he's got to come through on some type of terms to appease James.
So let's talk a little bit. You got a podcast Inside the Green Room. You've been doing this for, a couple of years now?
I actually started right when I went to Toronto before I got, so it was the trade happened 2018.
So you're an OG in the game?
Yeah.
Do you feel like people are jacking your style? Like you see all these players now?
I wouldn't say that.
But you look like, I've been doing this shit.
When you see new players get podcasts, you're like, oh, it's dope. But you're like, I think they kind of saw, me and JJ and CJ, like certain guys that were early on, like, okay, I think they saw that and was like, it's a good idea, let me try that. But I don't think they're jacking styles. I'm not hating on them. I think it's dope that some people are following suit and actually, seeing some of the things. But it's also certain guys I'm happy for. Like I even see like a guy like Tyrese Maxey, like he's young and doing it. And it's like, oh, he's actually, and maybe I was a part of the reason why he started a podcast. Maybe I had an impression on him. And then some guys I think are using it for different reasons. But it's really for the older guys that are on their way out the league.
Okay.
It's great to have a voice when you are playing. It's great for some guys to stay relevant. Some guys like to stir the pot, stir shit up. Some guys like to, get the hot takes. But all in all, I think it gives us a voice, and it's great. Whereas we're more than just basketball players on the court. We have other things we like to discuss, talk about, whether it's movies, hobbies, fishing, kids, our families. But also at the same time express what actually happened in certain instances that the fan may not see or know about. Oh, why did he not play that way? Or why did he get fouled? Or what happened on this? Or what did he mean when he said that in the media? So like now if there's an article that comes out, it's like, all right, this is what I said, but y'all didn't get the whole, now I can recorrect it.
2018, you're probably one of the first ones then.
It was early on. I think it was me, I think CJ was in there, I think JJ was one. So yeah, we got 5 years in.
Yeah.
So like a month ago was 5 years for us.
So when you in, was it just audio?
No, we started audio the first couple.
Okay.
But mine blew up because everybody thought I had the insight on what Kawhi was thinking and do. So when the trade happened, they thought I had the inside scoop on what Kawhi was thinking.
Yeah, you should have been pump faking it.
And then when I got to Toronto, they gave us a studio. We had a nice studio, and we had a lot of subscribers. Canadians love their Raptors, so we had a good following there. And in LA, we had great following, so it turned out really good.
You gotta milk that shit.
It was good, man.
You wanna know where Kawhi's going? Like and subscribe.
I always try to get my daily workout in, whether it's lifting, going for a run, or just shooting hoops. But with my schedule, finding time can be a real challenge. Peloton has helped change that. You probably know Peloton as the people who make bikes. But they also make the Peloton Tread, Peloton Rower, and even the Peloton app, which you can now access for free. It has classes like yoga, strength training, HIIT cardio, and boxing that can be done wherever, whenever. Peloton's classes don't feel like the regular workout class. They feel like entertainment. They're fun, exhilarating, laugh out loud, hilarious, and designed to fit your lifestyle. Whether you have 5 minutes or 20 minutes, there is a workout for you. And if all this sounds like it's gotta be beyond your price point, remember, this app is free. Ready to give it a try? Get started and download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription. Paid memberships start at $12.99 a month.
So, you've done a ton of episodes, had a ton of great guests on. Who was a guest that you really want to get onto your pod?
Oh, that's a good question, man. There's always a lot of athletes. I feel like I've done different types of athletes. I've done like a UFC fighter. I've done, inside. I haven't done a boxing one. But for me, I said, basketball guys, it's kind of the same. Even though everybody wants, LeBron James or, this guy or Steph Curry. It's all basketball. I feel like I want to talk about something different, inside. I'm more of a movie guy. So I'm more interested in the production of movies. How does that work? How does behind the scenes of this, Winning Time is big right now. Jim Hecht, I had Jim Hecht on, I think, before.
The legend, yeah.
So, certain actors or actresses, their mindset of certain roles they've played, I like to get into the mind of other professionals and see, what their thought process is of how they approach the game or whatever field that they're in. And that could be, a cook, a chef. It could be a guy that does archery. It could be, a guy that does darts. Just seeing how learning those things that I have no clue about, that's what interests me more than anything. Yeah. But if I had to pick one person, it depends what kind of pod are you looking for. Are you looking for like drama?
Just for your joy. No, who you like? I can get anybody on the pod. If I'm you, who are you picking?
Probably Jay-Z.
Okay, I see.
There you go.
A pod with Jay-Z or 500K?
That's tough, man.
Pod or
That's a tough question right there, man.
You can make 500 off the pod if you come at it right.
You might, maybe.
I want the pod.
Yeah.
It's hard to pass up 500K.
I know, but when you listen to him, he gives you so much good
100%.
shit. 100%.
That's why it's a tough one.
Yeah, you can leave there and just...
I'm gonna do the pod. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do the pod for sure. He's right. I'm gonna do the pod.
And you mentioned Jim Hecht.
But to me, it's like I don't hold anybody's conversation in that high of regard.
Facts. That's facts.
To be like, pass up 500,000, like that's just a light day. They're like, let's throw up this 500. 500,000 is a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
Just for conversations. But that conversation, I think it's worth it for sure.
But you mentioned Jim Hecht and Winning Time. Love the show. I wish I could be able to promote it, but I'm in SAG and I'm in Writers Guild.
Oh, okay.
Those are big no-nos.
Okay.
I'm sitting watching at the crib, wanting to get the tweets off and all that shit, and can't do it. But that's definitely a show.
Yeah, man. It's a dope show. It's a dope series.
And would you ever make the move into acting? Obviously,
I would love to. I'm the type of as we get older, I think we appreciate. People appreciate school when they're older because you appreciate learning. You hold on to it better when you're older, and I think. I'm one of those people who want to learn about everything. I want to learn to cook one day. I want to learn how to sail. I want to learn how to fly a plane. So definitely acting, me being a movie buff and into TV series type of things, I would definitely love to learn how a production of a movie happens and also how to act in a movie. So for sure, it's something I would get into.
So last question for you. So you're a second round pick, but you carved out a nice career for yourself. I don't like to pocket watch, but you made over $100 million in contracts.
I didn't know that. But
we do our research.
I just collect.
So me and Gil got a movie ID. No, I'm just kidding. We need some bread from you. But what advice would you give to a young player like yourself with maybe a second round pick on how to stick in the NBA?
I mean, it's kind of the same as what most guys give. Never get too high, never get too low. But for me, it was enjoy the ride, but just, you take advantage of your resources. Never take any of these days for granted of the guys you're around. Ask questions. Ask questions to be annoying. Kobe, God rest his soul, he was probably annoying as hell to Michael Jordan. You hear his speech about it, he asked questions. And he was great, and he learned. So even, there's so many examples you can use, but the biggest advice is, obviously, don't take it for granted. So work every day like it's your last work, like you're the last guy on the bench trying to make a team, even if you are on a rotation or not. So don't take for granted whether you're a starter or you're getting paid, because they can be taken away that quickly. But just use your resources, ask questions, enjoy your teammates, your time, because it goes really fast. The camaraderie of it, of being and traveling with a group, and make the time that's necessary for, you know, the people that got you there, your family, you know, whether it's your kids, your coaching, and don't forget to ever, you know, forget where you came from and give back to where those places you came from.
I hope y'all listening out there. Yeah. If y'all trying to get those bags too, you get to 14, 15 years, multiple rings. You got 4 rings.
I've been blessed, man. I've been lucky. One NCAA.
That's what I'm saying. 4 of them things.
I've been lucky, man. I've been on some great teams.
I got 0 too, good.
I got 0. No, I got 5. They all Kobe's though. I ain't earned them.
Hey, wear them with pride. But Danny, we appreciate you pulling up.
I appreciate y'all, man. This is dope.
And everybody watching this show, make sure you watch his show Inside the Green Room as well.
Inside the Green Room.
This has been another episode of No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. We'll be back with more very soon.